Welcome to Conversations with the Chronicle. I'm Eric Crump with the Home of the Flossmoor Chronicle. It's Friday, December 12th, 2025. We're here talking with Vaughn Halyard from the Donald Ross Society. The Society is one of the partners in a new effort to redevelop Calumet Country Club as a golf course as opposed to industrial use, which has been proposed. Vaughn's going to tell us about the history of the course, why the Society thinks it's important to save this as a golf course, and what role it could play in the community if they're successful in their bid to redevelop it. Thank you for joining us.
The Donald Ross Society was founded to preserve the courses designed and built or designed by Donald Ross. There's over 300, almost 400 in America, North America, including some in the Caribbean and some in Canada. And Ross, I guess the simplest way to say it for the layperson, Ross is the equivalent of Frank Lloyd Wright for American golf course design. You'll have seen Donald Ross courses on television hosting the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. Yeah. He lived and worked in Pinehurst for quite a significant part of his life. Pinehurst has hosted U.S. Opens, and they are now an anchor site, and Pinehurst is now the home of the USGA, or one of the two homes of the United States Golf Association. So Pinehurst is a tremendously important anchor of the Donald Ross ecosphere. The U.S. Senior Open was just held at the Broadmoor in Colorado, which is a Donald Ross course. And there are 11 active Donald Ross courses in the Chicagoland area, the bulk of which are private, such as Beverly, Skokie. He had a part in the development and building of Old Elm. So Ravenslow and Calumet and courses like that are extremely important to the Donald Ross Society because they give public access to the Donald Ross courses. You don't have the ability to just call up a Donald Ross course and get a tee time. So saving Calumet and jumping into the pool and the fire, whatever it is, to save Calumet is something that is probably the mission of the Donald Ross Society, because our mission is to preserve and promote the heritage of Donald Ross courses. And we are a nonprofit. So we're a bunch of golf nerds that get together. I do work in media, produce for Golf Magazine, and have done stuff for ESPN, and we do things for a wide variety of sports, media, and film. But golf is a passion. I became involved with golf when my son wanted to be Tiger Woods, and have been addicted ever since.
All right. So what does the Society do to help protect the Donald Ross courses that still exist? I mean, you're actually proposing to get involved in redeveloping this course. Is that something that the Society has been involved in before?
No,
like
this is something that is a little bit out of the pocket, but it's important. I mean, Calumet serves a specific purpose, public access to Donald Ross in Chicagoland in general, let alone Hazel Crest and the south suburbs. Just in general, being able to call up and get a tee time at a course that was developed by one of the world's most famous golf architects is important. So this is the first time that the Ross Society has actively jumped in. I mean, I reached out to Mike, and we were reaching out to each other concurrently, which is the irony. And it really came together where, what do we need? And he said, we need to respond to this RFP that just came out 2 days ago. And he said, can you come down to my governor's meeting of the CDGA? I said, yeah, I'll make it happen. So within 72 hours, I got on the phone, Mike got on the phone, and we assembled an all-star team of golf architects, one of the world's leading golf construction companies. I pulled in an urban planner just in anticipation that we would need some pretty aggressive response or learned responses to urban planning. Mike pulled in one of the top golf construction companies. I pulled in an architect. We pulled in all manner of people, such as the person who does probably the number one golf valuation company in the world. I mean, long story short, we put together an A-team in 72 hours and delivered what is a pretty unassailable proposal. And I'd be proud to say that I spent quite a bit of time with Ms. Vermecke of the South Suburban Coalition for Green Space, and she gave us a resounding endorsement, which was the objective to say, look, we are trying to deliver something that is holistically available to the people. Public access when there's not golf, and
Yeah.
And when there is golf, some public access for people that like to play golf.
Yeah, sounds like you have to sort of re-envision what the course will be like. I assume you're going to try to honor that history, though. I mean, the course is reputedly in rough shape right now. It has not been cared for the way it should for a few years, according to golfers that I've talked to. So you have to do some work to kind of bring it back to its former glory. Is it going to be back to the design of Donald Ross when he first envisioned it, or how much do you have to accommodate changing such conditions? I know an interstate went through since he had designed it, so so is that part of the process too, is restoration of that vision?
Absolutely, and that's a good question. I mean, the objective is to there's a number of levels in the whole process. There's restoration, there's reclamation, there's renovation where you divert from whatever the original design was, and then there's just complete obliteration, right?
Yeah.
You may just scrape it off and build housing, or you scrape it off and build a course that has no semblance to what
Yeah.
Donald Ross. Our objective is to restore, to the best of our ability, the features and characteristics associated with the Donald Ross course.
Okay.
So we have an architect that is Jim Nagel from Nagel Design Works, has worked on a number of Donald Ross courses in addition to championship courses such as Lancaster, which just held the U.S. Women's Open, Philadelphia Country Club, and some very high-end, very excellent private courses.
Mm-hmm.
This is a heartfelt mission for him because he would love to do this as a public course. And what we would do would look at the plans that Donald Ross had for this course, take into consideration that some of the land is gone, has been claimed by the interstate, but restore the features that were there. And there's also another level in that layer cake. There's the features, and then there's the conditioning. So even though the conditioning has deteriorated a little bit over the years, the features, or the bones as we call them, are still there.
Yeah.
So you can work with what was there and restore that, and then add modern irrigation, modern drainage, get our environmental consultant, Jens Jensen, involved, and he's helped restore the desert up in Sand Valley in Wisconsin, which is now one of the top golf resorts on the planet. We'll work with them, we'll work with the green space, we'll work with the wetlands, we'll build a strategy for trails, and hopefully if it snows, you could cross-country skiing.
Yeah.
We'll work with the engineer to do simulators, and we'll work with that footprint of the original Donald Ross course to restore those features to the best of our ability to modern standards.
I was kind of curious about that. I know you mentioned Frank Lloyd Wright as the epitome of American architecture, 20th century anyway. And when people see a Wright house, they recognize it. You know, they say, "Oh, I can see the features that he commonly used. You know, the angles and the flat roof, etc." Are there features that tell you a course is a Donald Ross? Things that he was like particularly known for?
You know, that's another excellent question from a golf perspective. Yes and no. People think that people tend to say, well, there's a Ross bunker or there's a Ross green. There really are some Ross characteristics of how he built the bunker, but they evolved over time. You know?
Oh, yeah.
He would build bunkers a certain way in the early 1900s. When this was built in the 1920s, his bunkers were a little more creative. The greens were a little more interesting. So this is a really ripe time, an excellent time to restore a Donald Ross to those specific characteristics.
Okay.
There's other architects that he's the most prolific in America, North America. So he's the main brand for Donald Ross. And when you restore Donald Ross, you try and restore it with those features. It's like a Frank Lloyd Wright. You wouldn't put, no disrespect, you wouldn't put Pella windows on a Frank Lloyd Wright house. You'd restore the Frank Lloyd Wright windows in a manner that are the fit of that court, of that house. We'll do the same for a Donald Ross course.
Okay, great. What are the other things about the project? I know it's come together quick that you think the community, Hazelcrest, Homewood, Flossmoor, and East Hazelcrest around here, what should people know about what you guys have planned?
People should understand that this is going to be a people's course.
Yeah.
And one of the other developments that we're working on, the Donald Ross Society Foundation has contributed to a project that I'm doing independently with another partner. But again, it's a public course, and our mission is to make it into the finest public municipal course in America. And part of that project we built, and part of our deal with the township, and part of our our commitment included the township would offer us a line item in the Parks and Recreation. So golf is part of Parks and Recreation. If you're doing archery, if you're doing bowling, if you're doing volleyball, we want you to offer golf. And same with the schools. We wanted golf as part of the physical education curriculum. So if a kid wanted to learn how to play golf, that can be one of their school electives. Go out and play golf, and we would use Calumet as that anchor tenant, that resource, that headquarters for community golf. Learn how to play golf, and play it on a course that's excellent and shares the architecture name as Ravenslow and Beverly.
Okay, great. Well, listen, Vaughn, thank you so much for joining us and introducing us to your organization and telling us more about why the course is important to save, and we appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time. We appreciate the ability to talk about it. We're going to play hard.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Okay, we appreciate it.